It's our time to shine. Show that's the kind of state of mind you gotta combine with hard work and time. You gotta climb to the top. Don't let yourself drop till your heart stops. Let this beat rock. Got a new block and a new stock for this new rock. Just let your mind loose from the new stock. Drunk off the goose, thinking that I'm too hot. Getting caught with a few thoughts, cause I'm too lost. Off the speaker, can't even handle me. Giving what I got, nobody will drain my energy. And I will never stop from motivated by enemies. Setting up shop so everybody remember me. And now I am not going through life regretfully. I'd rather work non-stop. They call it Cecily, than work some more jobs. To live life presently, already got lost in my mind, not a fantasy. I'm with all forgotten souls who stop dropping roll. I lost all control and pop off the ball. I got squad, I'm born, I'm not bought, I'm sold. My stock rocks, it's gold. Hey, knock, you know, it's shit, talk to close. I ain't stopping though, it's hip-hop, you know. Or is it rock and roll? I'm not dropping, don't know my pockets grow. You can't stop the show, so get rock, you know. So let me break it all down to you. I ain't never giving up, I ain't never giving up. Taking that crown from you. I ain't worried about you. So let me break it all down to you.
What's up, guys? Good morning. How are you today? I was out of notifications, but something happened this morning. I was kind of pissed and wanted to show some love. So don't expect many people to be in here just because notifications are out, but we'll give you guys an update as to what's going on. I'm going to play his video. Make sure you go to Disorderly Product News.
What's up, buddy? What do you need? Why not? Why would I step out? I'm not doing anything.
Your license is suspended.
My license is not suspended, dude.
Figure it all out.
I got. Listen to me. I have something in my phone that says my license is not suspended.
Walk right here. Put your phone down.
Oh my God, bro.
Right there.
I got something in my phone that says my. You're not listening to me. You're not listening to me, dude. Yeah, listen, guys. I'm getting my hands cuffed right now. Fucking A, dude. Why can't you just listen to me? My license is not suspended.
I'm gonna lock you so you don't get tied either. According to the Secretary of State, it's still suspended.
No, I emailed my phone that I'm to bring with me. Anytime I'm pulled over, I'm to show it to the police to show that I am not suspended. From the Secretary of State. I have no idea how the Secretary of State works. I'm just telling you what they gave me.
Do you have anything in your pocket that's going to poke you?
No, you're allowed to do a cursory search of my person.
Spread your feet. You have nothing's going to poke me, right?
Nothing. You got anything that's going to... You cannot go in my pocket. How? You're not allowed to do a cursory search. I'm not under arrest. My license is not suspended. My license isn't suspended, sir. I had the email from the Secretary of State. They're told to give it to me anytime I get pulled over by the police. Oh my God, dude. Can you not look at the email?
I have to go by what the Secretary of State says.
Hey, what? Guys, I'm in River Forest right now. I know, dude. What do you want me to do? The Secretary of State sent it to me.
Right,
they told me. You're pulling down my pants, bro.
Nah, I have to search you, dude. I have to search you.
There's nothing on. You're pulling down my pants.
I'm not pulling down.
Guys, I'm with the. This is what's your name, Rivers Forest. Can you please stop?
I'm trying to pull your pants up.
Okay, well, I gotta tie them, dude. They're again saying my license is suspended. The same thing that happened at the Maybrook Circuit Courthouse. The same thing that happened. I got pulled over in Chicago. My license is not suspended. Look at me when you started. Even 175. My license is not suspended. Can I show you the email?
I don't know what's up with this email, but just okay. Yeah, pull it up. Just what was I gonna say?
All good. That's fine. No worries.
All right, I'm gonna go get that paperwork.
Okay. Good. Got another phone here. All right, I'm gonna go get this done.
You have the truck or what?
Yeah.
What are you doing stuff?
It's fine. I'll just leave him recording. I'll just put him in my front seat. I'll leave him recording. Whatever. I'll put it in my front seat.
I wouldn't leave it recording. Just turn this shit off.
Yeah, those are his keys. So. Eventually I'll take the house keys off the car key, but
I got you.
I'll put the stuff in this.
Yes, sir.
All right. So first bit of news is he's fine, right? I wake up this morning to people having streams saying, "Oh, we demand to know what happened and we demand to know about his safety." I found out about this a couple hours ago. I called him on his cell phone. He was fine. So his license was not suspended. His license was active. And like most government, there's no fucking oversight. So one branch, the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing because they like to give directives and beat unarmed citizens, but they don't like to send out things as simple as emails and memos. So the Secretary of State issues emails saying that, hey, just so you know, your license is active. Should you get pulled over by the police, please show them this email as proof that your license is active. Which he did. And then the police say, well, I have no idea what's going on. Why would he show us an email? Right. And then you hear the cops say, I'm just going to leave the camera recording. And, I'm not going to stop it. And the cop says, well, I wouldn't leave it recording. Yeah, neither would I. I wouldn't leave a camera recording if I planned to beat an unarmed citizen. But he was fine. He was arrested. He was released. It was a mistake that the police made. So, he's going to be okay. I'm not going to give any more info than that because, he can give that information. Just want to let people know that he's okay. So you can head on over if you're not already. Go to Disorderly Product News, hit the subscribe button, Set the notification bell to always. Make sure you get your updates. This video is on his channel. It's this one right here, Dispatch. I don't know who you arrested, but phones are going off the hook. Make sure you get it and share it. A lot of our videos will go viral when we're telling a cop to go screw themselves. And then when we get arrested, you know, those are the ones that don't get many views. As you can see, 6 hours ago, 2.7 thousand views. You know, when they're, and, you know, I wasn't at the scene. I wasn't present in the situation. When I spoke to him on the phone, I called him this morning. He sounded tired, but he was okay. You know, these cops, and I don't know that this is the case, but, you know, these cops are out to get us. We're out there doing this type of filming, and we're putting these guys on blast. There should be no question of arrest, right? And he gets arrested. I think at some point they figured out who he was, and then they decided that they definitely needed to arrest him at that point. You know, what are you going to do? But he'll get it figured out. So that's what's going on. Other people thought that American Amy was arrested. She was not. She's also fine. You know, here's the other problem. There should be way more people going live when shit happens. Way more people. I mean, my feed this morning when I woke up, I'm subscribed to people I don't even like, because I don't have to like someone to make sure that their rights are respected. And, you know, there was 3 or 4 mentions of this arrest. I mean, I don't know how, I've only been gone about 15 months, but, you know, when I went away, if an auditor or activist got arrested, even if you don't like them, you put some focus on it. You make sure that these people get freed. You make sure they get released. And then you get a whole bunch of auditors and you go up there and you make sure that these cops know that they can't just do that shit again. I know that guy. That's Chuck Bronson. Get on over to Disorderly. Thank you, Upstate Audits. Appreciate it. Poor Dirt Farmer, what's going on? Yeah, no, you're absolutely right about the clicks and views, and it's not what it used to be about. And I'll tell you one thing, like, I have 28 people in here. I did an interview with John Felix yesterday, the day before on Monday. I had 200 people in here. You know, if I'm screaming in a comp's face, I've had as many as 2,000 people in a live chat. And, you know, PDF, when the biggest auditors like Amagansett getting press strike people for videos they asked to mirror 2 years ago, it's just a shit show now. Yeah, it is, because it's all fucking production. No one wants, like, even with these like news networks or like people creating these channels, and if one person in this little outfit gets arrested, then the other people will go. At the end of the day, it's about like us as a community. I can tell you, there is someone that I hated then, I hated now, and we have not one good thing to say about each other. And whenever we cross paths, it's a horror show. But when he was arrested, I put his video up, and I think I wrote, I hate this person, but my feelings don't trump his rights. That's what this is about. And all these people doing streams like, oh, Disorderly Product News gets arrested. You know, we demand to know, is he safe? Is he okay? You know he's okay. Or how about this? Just call him. Wait, you can't call him because you don't have his phone number. Disorderly's first video was with me, right? Like, I know a lot of these guys. So when this shit happens hours ago, I know it happens. And I call and I say, hey, are you all right? My first instinct is to not just go live and talk shit to try and use a person's name to pull views. I mean, yeah, the money's great if you're pulling in money doing this, but it's about the reason that we're doing this shit in the first place. I remember someone got arrested. I can go live, get their bail money in a matter of minutes, go get them out, and then spend the whole night in that town. One auditor was arrested. Every single auditor makes a video about it. And then YouTube shadows you. And this is where we're at. This is the problem. Because there's going to be no, like, how can we together as a unit, right? How can we together hold these guys accountable when we don't even have any togetherness in our own community? I'm telling you one thing, every big channel that knew about this, or any channel at all that knew about this, should have been live. DPN got arrested. We don't have any facts. This is what happened. Then people start calling. But everyone's worried about their own personal stake in this interest. You know, I'll tell you one thing. I planned on releasing a video later today. A good video. I need the money, right? AFA needs the money. I went to go create a short this morning, accidentally released it as a regular video and deleted it immediately. So that's one of my notifications. My next notifications, because you only get 2 notifications in a day, was supposed to be this awesome video I had saved for later. I didn't release that. I released this. I got 38 people watching instead of the however many tens of thousands of people I would have had watching that other video that I would have been monetized for and paid for. But that's the whole point. At the end of the day, the cause needs to supersede the paycheck, and there has to be some sense of togetherness. Like, this kid shouldn't be pulled over on the side of the road by road pirates and be kidnapped anyways. There's no due process. Secondly, he has a legit letter from the state, from the governing body, saying this license is fine. Why is it his fault? Why does he have to be subjected to kidnap? I mean, whether the police department didn't contact the Secretary of State, or the Secretary of State didn't contact the police department, he's got notifications and letters saying, hey, listen, this kid's license is fine. And if you get pulled over by police, show them this. And then they look at it and they say, what the hell is this? We have no idea what this is. You know? And that's the state of things we're at now. There's some good things, there's some bad things. You know, we got some very young channels that have, you know, the small hundreds of subscribers. And I've seen some videos lately. They're doing really, really well. You have some newer to middle channels that have really been blowing up over the past year or so. They're doing okay. And then you have those smaller to middle channels that are just out doing nonsense. I mean, there's no accountability. Like, some people don't like how I act, but I don't care. I'll tell the cops to go fuck off. This is my freedom of speech. I mean, there's a far difference between someone thinking you're a cringy activist and then just literally going out, you know, doing nothing for the fucking cause and trying to pull in some views and a fucking paycheck. I've been doing this a long fucking time. And, you know, things evolve. Everything evolves. Life evolves. And this is the evolution of the activist. I mean, not for nothing, 75 years ago, you know how you found out about an activist's hard work? You saw a picture of them dead on the side of the road with a headline that said, activist murdered in so-and-so Louisiana. You know, those people were giving their lives, actively giving their lives. And 2 to 3 years ago, when people started really doing this on YouTube, people were giving their freedoms and sometime putting their life at risk. Now it's, what viral video might just not make it. I mean, I released a video yesterday where the cops are beating a guy, and it got an age restriction on it, and it got an age restriction on it, and it got a copyright claim. And I didn't care. I still released it. I mean, it's not good for money. I mean, it's really bad. That fucks with your channel, but I don't care about the money as much as I care about these people getting like, this just cannot continue to happen. And then you have people that like talk under the guise of activism, like fucking Dirty Hands Mike. I mean, like, those are the worst fucking kinds. Those are the activists that tell you that they're activists, and then they call the cops. They alienate the entire activist community. I mean, we're at a fucking standstill right here. And I beg, like, for someone to rise from the ashes, to be a phoenix for us, or some new channel that no one knows, to get out there and do something together. Make a friggin' difference. I mean, this has gotten to be enough. Going through some of the comments here. Shame Canadian, Two Spirited, Mike Taylor. I mean, we need some sort of hero in this situation. San Joaquin is pretty good at releasing smaller videos, and everyone releases a video for a reason, right? If it's a good video, we all ought to get paid. But he's good at putting some spotlight on channels that people aren't really aware of. And that's a good thing. But it's on the next generation now, because this shit ain't working. It's on the next generation of auditors and activists to get out there. And like you need to know more than fuck you, I'm not giving you ID and I don't answer questions. Not for nothing, but if the conversation goes past, do you have ID? I don't answer questions. I know my shit. You know what I mean? It needs to go past that. And that's all I'm seeing in a lot of these new videos. John Speedway, Notably Nova. That's all I'm seeing. I don't answer questions. Fuck you. And then you flip out on the fucking cop, and yes, you got a viral video, but that's not, I mean, okay, if your video for the sole intent is to say fuck you to the cops, and that's fine. I'm all for it. Everyone should say fuck you to the cops. That's great. But don't put it under the guise of activism. Make your channel called, fuck the police every 24/7. If you're going to get out there and do it under the guise of activism, you need to know a little bit about the Constitution. You need to know a little bit about what the hell you're doing. I mean, there's a war that's been waged. Some of these videos I'm seeing, people are getting arrested for everything and nothing at the same time. Got to step it up. Hey, PDF. So, let me put the link out there. There is a way to bypass authentication. So you can go up on someone's panel. They can authenticate it as your panel, and it's actually not your panel. Andrew's been doing this quite frequently. Yeah, so authenticating somebody is not the the end all be all finality in what's going on. That's the other thing, right? If you have a beef with if I have a beef with an auditor, I will go up on his panel. I will roast him. I will talk shit about him because most of the time, 9 out of 10, I'm going to win that argument because I'm just fucking good at it. But I'm not going to go up and do something, get his channel taken down because I can have a personal issue with him, but I don't have a personal beef with his subscribers. Every camera is a megaphone to freedom, right? Every camera gives you that much more access to spread the message of what we're doing. And you go porn bombing a fucking channel because you have an issue with them. I mean, yeah, fine. If it's like Dirty Hands Mike or something like that, whatever. But not if it's in activism. Like, where have we gone? Gothic Harlequin, what's going on?
I called there this morning and they said they had no one under arrest.
Yeah, no, he's free. What's up, Swanville?
Oh,
How's it going?
okay.
Yeah, he was released pretty quickly.
Okay.
He's
And this
fine.
is Swanville. Okay. Hi.
Hi. How are you today?
Gothic? Where are you from?
Not good. Not when I heard I got up here and I saw I need help. So I
Well, at
went
least
and I'm
you
like,
got out
what
quick.
the
And
fuck is wrong with you people?
it sounds like it actually, I mean, there's at least the chance it sounds like it might have been an actual mix-up. Probably not, but at least
No,
he's
it's
out
not
quick.
mixed up because when they suspend the license, they suspend it. So I'm not sure which state system Chicago uses, but it would be an NCIC as well. When you run it state and then you run it federal. The National Criminal Information Center will have that whether your license is active or suspended. So that's been happening a lot in recent states because you can't get back into court because of COVID. So they send a letter out to you or email and they say, hey,
Right.
this insurance is updated. If stopped by the police, show them this. This license is updated. If stopped by the police, show them this, because they know that it's not going to show up in their computer. So that email, that paperwork is the fail-safe to make sure that you don't go to jail. So the moment that that's okay, and the moment that he says, hey, I've got this paperwork. And
So yeah, so where's the accommodation here on the cop's part? So because he could use reasonable, he could comply reasonably as a servant, as civil servant. He has that option to comply. Why didn't he just do that and look at the goddamn email and say, oh, okay, I gotcha, and that's it. It's done. He escalated.
Officer discretion equals handcuffs. That's what it
Right.
equals. It equals handcuffs.
Usually. Well, it
And they
depends
have
on whether they like you or not.
Yeah, they have the ability to let you go. And here's the other thing, right? So you hear in that video that they know he's recording. And I will say one thing, okay? Everywhere I go, I am not always noticed. But my channel is big enough that when I go out and film, I usually get noticed once. But there's no place in my home state where I go. Every single cop out here knows me. Every single fucking one. Right? And he has a very unique voice. So when that cop pulled him over and they ran his plates, they knew who he was.
They knew who he was. Absolutely.
dispatch is
That's
telling
exactly
him,
what it was.
We don't know who you arrested, but the phones are going off the hook. The other
And the
cop even
retaliation
said-
is rampant in this last couple of weeks. It's like, every time you turn on YouTube, another auditor is being arrested.
Yeah, but here's the reason why that's happening. Number one, we allow it, and it is our fault before it is theirs, because we're allowing this shit, and we're allowing this to go forward in perpetuity by our inaction. So we fucking deserve it. Number one. Number two is that there's so many channels now that are literally, joke activism, that this is the type of shit that fucking happens. Like, yes, I love the paycheck to know that I can take care of my kids and take care of my family and not have to worry about anything. And if I want to go out and swipe my card, I don't have to worry about how much I'm swiping it for. That's a great fucking feeling to go from, living under bridges to providing for my family. That's great. But at the end of the day, the forethought was always trying to make a difference, right? Because I didn't upload my first video thinking I was going to get a paycheck. I didn't think anyone was even going to fucking see it. But these guys, now they're watching, they're knowing what to do, and they're reaching out to other auditors being like, hey, release this video. Like it's not
Right.
for the activism, it's not for the change, it's not for the people, it's for them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some people, sure. Hey, which brings me to the reason, if you don't mind, that's a good segue for me for the reason I jumped up here. And it is this. I've been like plugging this idea for a while now. Whenever I hear people talk about what can we do, what can we do, what can we do?
Right.
Well,
That's what I want to know.
You the last time we spoke, Josh, a few days ago, the cops had just come to my door, you may recall,
Right.
twice during that day to stomp down on me for making peaceful calls to my sheriff's department because they don't like it, because it embarrasses them. And that's what gets under their skin. They hate those calls. They hate, especially if you record them and put them up. And so if we like some kind of call club where if somebody gets arrested, we just start calling. I mean, it's good that there's tons and tons of auditors. Maybe if some of us could kind of organize, you know.
But the group that's supposedly on the higher moral ground should just ignore all that and do their goddamn job. Because when you ignore it, it doesn't develop into a problem if you focus on it and dwell on it. They're the ones turning this into a problem. They ought to be just doing their job.
The cops?
And being on the higher moral ground and setting the bar.
The cops?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, of course. But yeah. What I'm saying is, here's something we can do. What Josh was saying a minute ago. What can we do? We need a hero, for example, which is great. But if there isn't one, what else are you going to do? Well, one thing we could do is like just a call club where imagine if you had 20 people kind of dedicated. I don't have a job. I'm here all day. I could make calls and calls and calls and calls for people, and they hate it, especially if you dare to record them and put them. And across state lines, they don't send cops to your door. They don't send cops to your door to threaten to arrest you because you're calling across state lines. Unless you trigger the feds somehow, you got to be careful of that because they will. Because that's what happened to Joshua Martinez. As I understand it, there was a federal involvement. So anyway, that's my plug for a call club. And I'm gonna hop off now. So thanks for letting me plug that. And I'm not saying it like for me or you know what I'm saying. It's not a plug in the sense that this is something that I'm trying to whatever do.
Right. Let me explain to you how fucking simple this should be. Okay. Mm-hmm. I filmed this video when I only had a few thousand subscribers, right? This is how fucking simple it should be. Mm-hmm. It should not be harder than this.
Yeah. I told you that you worked for the people and now you are. Welcome to my world. Phones have not stopped ringing. I don't know why. I've asked people not to call.
Yes, that's what you want.
What do they expect?
Absolutely.
Thank God I brought my Nike Air Maxes so I can make it back and forth. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, sorry, another call over here. Sorry, excuse me. Oh, sorry, I gotta go back over here. Sorry, guys. Oh, another call over here.
That's how simple that shit should be. That's all that it is. Like you just say, do not call, and then boom, there it is.
Yeah.
But it was different back then. It's crazy to say like we're old enough where our YouTube ages 10 times as fast as any normal thing. But it's crazy to say that back then, like it was different back then, and be referring to just a couple years ago.
You can plainly see that there's an obvious hidden agenda here.
Right. Of course there was.
And it's getting worse. Yeah.
Well, it's going to continue to get worse because the lines are so grayed and blurred. You know what I mean? Like,
and they shouldn't be.
When someone can get kidnapped on the side of the road without proof, yeah, well, I get that. But when you get kidnapped on the side of the road with proof, like that goes to show, I mean, in my estimation and in my humble opinion, and don't put it, I'm not putting, when I spoke to Disorderly, he didn't tell me that these cops were targeting him. I'm just gathering this from what I've done and what I've seen and from that video, that maybe they didn't know immediately who he was. But when we go out and we drive around, these cops just follow us. They know what
Right.
cars look like, and he has a flashier looking car. You know what I mean? It's noticeable. So
Right.
they see him, they pull him over, and they say, "Oh, that's the thing, discretion." Like a normal cop or any decent person would be like, okay, he's got a letter from the Secretary of State. Let me at least call this in. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to summons you to court. I'm going to cite your letter, and you can get it figured out with the Secretary of State or the Registry of Motor Vehicles before then. Figure it out, then fine. If not, bring your letter in on that day, and we can get it figured out, because there is no victim. There is no property damage. There's no
Right.
need to fucking steal someone off the side of the fucking road when they have proof that's not the case.
Well, the reason is
Yeah,
retribution
the
by the
crime.
cop. Right? I mean, the cop doesn't like him. That's the reason. There's no good reason, but that's the reason.
Right, and there's no crime articulated.
No, obviously not. I'm just saying that, you know, cops don't follow the law, at least not around here, and apparently maybe in Chicago and lots of other places. So, you know,
I think that we, like Josh especially, and you, because I'm not an auditor, so I don't know, you know, what to do. But my personal opinion and my only prayer is that a majority of you guys should get certified in some way, shape, or form through the state or the federal government or the state government somehow, to be able to hear at your leisure, whenever you please, to go into any roll call in the morning to hear what's going on.
You can. I mean, I've
That's
done
what,
that.
but I think that that's what we need to move for. I want to move for that action. And how do we go about doing that?
That's not a bad idea. I mean, so
yeah,
most,
sounds like a
for
good
example,
idea.
my hometown, they do roll calls, and it's you know, anyone can just walk in. But you know, you bring up a decent
Really?
point, like how far, like the citizens should not have oversight in just some parts. When, you know, a cop gets, you know, beat some fucking person senseless, there should be a separate citizen panel that
Right,
can be
absolutely.
available
That's what I
anytime.
want action for. I want action for that. I want action for that, to be able to not just roll call, but at their leisure, to be able to go and just do the even their body cams whenever we please.
Well, here's the problem. If you don't have, like, for example, in some places in North Carolina, I was out working with Blind Justice and NC Tyrant Hunter, and they literally like treated this kid like shit. So he goes to get the camera footage, and they tell you, first of all, that you can't take the camera, you can't remove the footage from the building, number one. But in another town, they tell you that you have to pay for this footage. So if you get
No,
beaten by the police and you
no,
don't have money, then you shouldn't be able
no.
to fight and move forward with your case. I mean,
Right,
that's where we're at now. It's literally road piracy. If we want to break down the Constitution doesn't say you need to have a license to travel. It says you have the right to travel, and you have the right for that forward progress to not be impeded. You have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I mean, that's what
yeah,
you have the right to. But the Constitution also allows for each states to institute laws and their own Constitution, as long as it doesn't abridge the Constitution. So when they
right,
say, oh, you have to pay to have a license and pay to do this, pay to do that, it doesn't tell you that you don't have the right to travel. But
yeah,
what happens to a poor person that has absolutely no money, that can't pay for a license, can't pay for registration, can't
right.
pay for this type of shit? Then you're removing their right to do so, and you're calling it choice. It's not their choice. That's your choice to not give it to them.
And where are all these huge law firms that claim that they're helping the private citizen? Where are they in all this?
I mean, that's why all these law firms do injury law. Even some of the decent law firms, that started doing civil rights law and constitutional law. They now do injury law for the same reason that, when we do activism, our thumbnails get better, our edits get better, because you go where the money is. That's
money.
that's
Yeah, of
reality.
course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know that's money and ego. It's like money and ego, back and forth, back and forth. And that's as a matter of fact, any civil servant shouldn't be making over $30,000 or $40,000 a year, including Miss Pelosi. All of them, every single one of them, shouldn't be making more than $30,000 or $40,000. That's
well, you don't even have to
a
work
crime in and of itself.
You don't even have to work currently. If you served in this, so for example,
It's
I don't know if
serving.
you
You're
know,
serving.
Billy Bulger. You remember Whitey Bulger?
Oh yeah.
It's not
So Whitey
familiar.
Bulger was from
Boston, right?
South Boston.
Yeah.
He was a huge mobster. He ran the Winter Hill Gang. Joe Connolly was his FBI handler. Connolly wound up getting arrested. Everyone, Steve the Rifleman Flemmy, Kevin Weeks, everyone gets arrested. He goes on the run for 25 years, and they finally catch him. But what's important to look at in this story is I was doing some research on it, and Billy Bulger, his brother, was a senator. And I was doing now he hasn't been in politics for 25 years. He was removed from politics when it was proved that he did have communication with his brother while he was on the run. He went and served as the president for UMass Amherst, left there too. I digress. The whole point of the story is, as of right now, at 80 years old, he's getting $200,000 a year from the government for his service in the Senate, and he actually asked for it to be increased to $230,000. But my point is, I'm saying is, what this guy's making in retirement, like that's the Senate pension plan.
This is the problem. This is the very root of the problem. And sometimes I like to listen to Sammy the Bull, because I'm hoping for him to slip up and say something too.
Hey, I got to drop off. Good to talk to you guys. And yeah, I'm just going to, one last time, like having some sort of organized call club. I think it might, well, it helped me out when I was in last time. Eric Brandt organized a whole bunch of calls to my lawyer who wouldn't withdraw. All the calls to his office made him withdraw. So it helped. Okay. So anyway, thanks. Have a good one.
All right, Swan.
Yeah, and I keep being verbal with everybody I could possibly be verbal with about the fact that I'd like to reopen the Gothic Harlequin somehow, some way, someday, so that I can accommodate you guys. I want to have a couple of rooms. I want to have food. I want to give even if it's 60% of my profits to go to the lawyers, to get the bail, to make the calls, whatever that needs to be done. It's just that I'm struggling inside, because I don't want it to seem like I'm there to be like in the money and the ego part. I don't want to have nothing to do with the money and the ego. I just want to be able to do what I want to do, what on my heart to do, but I don't know how to go about to doing it because of my neurological disabilities that I have. I just need a little help. And when I get established, it'll all be reciprocated over and above your imagination. I just want to get to that. I want to establish it, get it going, and be able to do what we need to do this.
Yeah, I mean, and you have great ideas. And here's the thing, like, these ideas are things that have been circulating. When I first started Breaking the Flaws in the chat, he wanted to do maybe I'm saying the name wrong, an auditing conference, right? So all these different auditors, like an auditing expo, you'd pay like certain dues and everyone would pay into it. And it would be self-sustaining. Like, the police have a union to protect them when they go beat an unarmed citizen. You know, we should have one to do that as well. And even some of these ideas are getting privatized and being used for profit. And that's the problem, is that until everyone, and I don't mean everyone because there's 20 new auditing channels popping up every day, but until you get like, you know, the staples in this community, like the people that have been around a couple years, Breaking the Flaw, San Joaquin, myself, TPN, SGV, like until you get like really the staples in this all together.
Yes.
There's so many more.
We all need to, yeah, this all needs to be consolidated into one consortium, a consortium of some sort. And we need to get Derek Gonzalez to help us out in this.
Well, no,
and you know, Susan Bassey, have you ever heard of Susan Bassey? And then I find out that there's actually lawyers having private court. And how do you have a private court?
So they have what's called private indictments and private hearings.
Yeah.
And it's usually done in like organized crime, or if they feel like any of it being made public could pose a risk to an undercover operative or an informant. Shit like that. But still, you don't get your due process. You know what I mean? There should not be private court, but that's been going on for years, which brings it back to what Delete Laws was saying, is that Supreme
Delete
Court
Laws, yeah, that's the Blue Ranger, yeah. I watch him too. But Derek Gonzalez, I mean, I think that to organize this and get the board members and whatever we need to form the or even I wouldn't even begin to imagine what we would title it, but it just needs an LLC or whatever the fuck you need to do it. Let's just fucking do it and stop talking about it. The fucking internal or not internal, but the eternal narrative is just, it's torture. It's torture for me.
Well, we can't, because no one's going to get on the same page. Like, to do that, you need a reasonable amount of people to get on the same page, and it's all going to
get by this. We got to get by this, put it behind us, and get to the next fucking step already.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the end of the day, people do this for money, and just to put a number out there, you can, if you're doing decent, hold on, Chris, let me give you a wrench. If you're doing decent in this, you're making between 10 and $35,000-$40,000 a month doing this.
Right.
So when you're making, hey puppy, when you're making that type of money, it's hard to step away and say, let's put ourselves on the forefront of this. Has the puppy done an audit yet?
He's completely, totally blind now. This is Pontius Handsomest Party Boy. But he doesn't have his costume on. He doesn't have his tear off dancing pants.
When you said Pontius, I thought you were talking about Chris Pontius.
Yes, I was. That's his namesake.
You feel
that's
like
his
partying?
namesake. He feels like partying right now. He's gonna party right now. Yeah. So what we need is a true civil servant that's willing to, because I don't have any money, but I still have the feeling in me that I could do this. And if I can conceive it, I could do it.
Yeah, well, you know what? Here's what you should do. Come up. Here's what I'll put out there for you. Come up with a broad spectrum kind of premise, kind of bullet point what you want to do. And then we'll talk about it. And if it's something that's realistic and feasible and it's well thought out and it has a good anchor to it, then I'll like myself personally start reaching out to some of these guys and see if it's something that we can do, because everyone's been talking about it, and I think there's a lot of divisions that keep something like that from happening. But
there's a lot of people. I'm very verbal with a lot of people to what my mission statement is. It's just that it's so futile. You know what I'm saying? It's so futile at this point with what's going on. Look at Australia. Look at Italy. Look at all the other countries. What's going down? And it's just like any day, it's expected to go down right here. At this point in time,
get away with it. Why not?
Right.
I mean, if your kid does something wrong and you don't correct it, they're going to continue to do it because there's no
the same thing. Yeah, it's just like a mother in a kitchen cooking a meal and doing her duties. If someone gets in her fucking way, she's going to do something about it, like the woman in the shoe, and put it behind her and move the fuck on. It's just simple. I don't get it. There's an evil hidden agenda here, and they just need to be taken down, and it needs to start all over again with the right people, with the higher moral ground to do it. That's all.
Yeah, and I sadly believe that is never going to happen. Just
Right.
because, you know, what divides us. I mean, at least we only have one barrier to really break down, too. The things that divide us are the two P's: paychecks and personalities. That's the only thing that's dividing people on our side of the fence.
Right.
You know,
And
things that are
then the
dividing them.
ne'er-do-wells the ne'er-do-wells taking care of the ne'er-do-wells, taking care of their gentry, and keeping their gentry safe and sound away from any kind of interference.
Yeah, gentry's a good word, because no titles of nobility shall be recognized. I mean, how far we've digressed from the Constitution of this country. But what are we going to do? I mean, we're getting bypassed by third world countries. Not for nothing. Besides economy and commerce, the U.S. is now a third world country. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
You're getting better treatment from the police in Venezuela and Argentina. I mean, let's get real.
Right. And orangutans are starting to use spears to catch their fish. So they're evolving, but we're not.
Nor will we, but it's the first time really in history where, I mean, evolution is just a forced trait over time. This is the first time where it's resistance to evolution by force. Like we're just by choice. We're just choosing not to move forward.
That's sick. That's sick, literally. The word sick. It's sick, and it needs to heal. We need healing, massive healing.
Now, you said you don't do auditing. Do you have a channel? Do you put videos?
I have a channel, but there's nothing on there. I don't even know how to work the fucking thing. I don't even know how to do it. When I get one on there, it's by luck. Just because I just go in there and start pressing buttons and trying to just do anything, and then it happens to go on there.
Don't feel bad. I had 70,000 subscribers and 17 million views, and I didn't know how to work the fucking thing until my girlfriend came along, and she's not even a YouTuber. Well, wasn't then, is now. So I'm lost in the past.
Right. There's always a good woman behind a successful man. Always.
Right. Well, listen, now our head's exploding in the chat, so be careful, Gothic. You're getting me in trouble. I'll tell you one thing, I'm more scared of her than I am of the police, and that's tough.
You better be. You better be.
Now, Chris says, what if you organized a collection pot? What if an auditor who's involved could be granted to use necessary portion of the funds for things like bail, attorney's fees, etc.? Will never happen, and that's also a great idea, because no one's money is the major thing. No one's going to trust anyone with other people's money. That's why, when someone gets arrested and they're in a group, we'll go live and be like, all right, guys, this is the fucking, and we have to jump through hoops. On a live stream, we have to call the jail so everyone at home can hear. We have to call the jail, confirm that person is there, confirm what their bail amount is, and confirm that they're able to be picked up at that moment if we pay that bail. Then on that same live stream, we have to go to the police department, present the fucking cash. You got to jump through fucking hoops because stunts are always being pulled. So,
well, then it would be just left up to the individual auditors that you mentioned, like San Joaquin and SGV or whatever, and have them elect that person, and have the people that are willing to do so go on the list to be elected.
I think the best you're going to get out of that is maybe get a group of agreed upon people, just 4 random auditors that whenever someone gets arrested, they get contacted and they will post that person's PayPal, or agree that, hey, if someone gets arrested, PayPal it to so-and-so and they'll take care of it. I think that's the best we're going to get to it. There's just too much division. I mean, it's easy. It's easier to solve because it's just money and it's not qualified immunity, that gives us a little bit easier of a battle. Anyone wants to come up, have a discussion, join in the topic, you're more than welcome. Description, the link is in the chat. Come on up.
And that Philadelphia thing was there was a piece on that Philadelphia police all those arrests that they made in that department. And that whole thing started in 2015. It takes that long for something to get accomplished, to put corrupt police officers in prison.
I mean,
That's insane.
It is
absurd.
insane, but not for nothing. I'll take it because we're lucky they get arrested at all.
But all the people that suffered in the meantime, and now they have to go through and find out which people need to be let out of prison now because of those assholes.
I mean, there's what's their fucking name in Massachusetts? I'm just having a brain fart. But there was a crime lab technician, and she was just purposely, fudging tests and calling things drugs that weren't, and all that stuff. So she finally.
Yeah.
So now you have a combined total of people spending about 1,000 years in jail. 1,000 years. And when they finally get a conviction on her, she gets probation. And there's I'm going to share the screen real quick, guys. I put this video out yesterday. So obviously this cop should be fired. He was obviously investigated, and there should have been some real big stuff coming.
And then when they do arrest them, they take them out of the courtroom in cuffs. They let them right out the goddamn door and on bail.
Well, let's watch this. You guys tell me in the chat what you think happened to this police officer.
Motherfucker. Oh, I thought he was going to hit him again. Oh, you fucking bastard. Oh, you motherfucker. Oh, my God. I don't even want to watch anymore.
So, just so you guys know, he was beaten for asking why he was being arrested. 2 years later, that officer has not been charged or investigated, but the victim was charged. The victim was charged for throwing his head backwards in a violent manner into the officer's fist. Breaking the flow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Breaking the flow.
Yeah, no, this guy just drinks away his troubles.
I don't know what he's doing back there. Yo, Joe.
This one, we need
Joe.
More.
Maybe he's got no sound. I'm dropping down.
More Serpico. Yeah, we need more Serpico.
Jesus. But yeah, that's the type of shit that's happening, and there's zero.
And now we're with Disorderly Product News because he reviewed the piece about the not the police officer, but the attorney, was it an attorney general that was helping prosecute dirty cops?
Yeah.
Just because that's pretty much why they arrested him, because he reviewed that video.
Now, I want to point something out that people might not like to hear, and I don't really much care if they don't like to hear it. Now, all the things happen in this video that happen in almost all the other ones. And I want to point something out that the reason this guy gets punched is because right about here, you'll see, I'm going to pause it. When this cop takes this guy down, he has no idea what he's doing. So he gets his leg, where the cursor is, stuck in between the victim's leg. So then the other cops come over and they kneel down on the victim's leg, which causes the cop's leg to get wrenched. Right here he says, "Oh, my leg, my leg, my leg." So he doesn't, try and hit this guy to make him comply. He's in pain.
It's a failure to communicate.
So you see, watch his leg get wrenched right here, goes down. He says, "Oh, my leg, my leg." He says, "Why am I under arrest?" And then he punches him because he's angry. But here's the thing that I'm going to point out. No one else is going to want to hear it. Knee on neck, police absolute and total brutality without question. Another
Right.
unarmed man gets beat up. The only difference is we switch skin colors and it's not an issue anymore. Instead of a
Right.
white cop beating an unarmed black person, it's a black cop beating an unarmed white person, and people seem to care far less. And that's a real
Right.
thing. And I don't care. I'll point that out. Hold on a second.
I'm glad
Do
you
have
did. I would.
audio breaking the flaw?
Yeah. There we go.
Joe. Thrilling. Thanks, Joe. Pain in my balls. All right. Yeah, no, you're right. Daily Donkey Salty Dab said he's white. No one cares. That is true. And I don't care if people have a problem with me saying that. He
I
was the
don't.
wrong color at the wrong
I don't
time.
have a problem with it. I mean, it's right there in your face.
I mean, and here's the other thing. After this, I protested for like 45 minutes because there was a black person walking past and he was like, he ain't one of our people. Like, that sucks. He's not one of ours, though. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, so let's keep in mind that during all the BLM marches, 80% of the people that showed up were white.
Yeah.
Right? So it was your problem then, right? But
Right. Whatever happened to the Rainbow Coalition Club? Whatever happened to them?
personal divinity. Like, people don't give a shit about other
No.
people. They give like, and then when they want to get behind a movement, it's the wrong fucking movement, or the movement doesn't have steam, and people
Doesn't
don't,
make sense.
they stop giving a shit.
Some kind of evil force is taking place here, and we need to get to the bottom of it. That's all I'm saying, once and for all, and so that we could get it behind us and move into the correct fucking direction.
Well, I can't. Let's see if Joe has anything to say this time.
Can you guys
Breaking
hear
the
me?
flaw.
Can you hear me now?
Now we hear you.
There
God.
you go. Now I can hear breaking the flaw.
I don't know what the issue was, but
Yeah, you weren't talking. Oh, we got Country Boy News. What's up, Country Boy News?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good
Were you
morning.
sitting in the back of a semi there?
Yeah, this is my semi. Well, mine was a good morning until I got here to the mill. I'm sitting. I've got one truck in front of me. He's half unloaded, and the electricity goes out. So here we
Oh,
sit.
Jesus.
Yeah, just my luck. I thought I'd get home about 3:30 or so today, but well, I guess that ruined that idea. So,
Well, now you get to hang out and talk with us for a little bit, so it's not a total loss.
yeah,
I don't know about
I'd been listening to you guys for a while. I keep up with things on your YouTube channel. I keep up with. I've not been in the mix for a little bit. I do hang out a lot with NC Tire and Hunter. Jeff is here, and different ones. But I always go to you guys' channel and check out, see what you guys are doing and stuff, and see some of the news that's going on in other states.
Right. Well, we appreciate you stopping by, and that's the starting point to all of this is just getting involved, taking the time out to watch different shows, different panels, and then to come up and voice your opinion. I mean, that's how we start making differences with the discussion, right?
Well, and too, I'm a truck driver. I've been doing it for 41 years. And, it's getting, a lot of people don't realize this, that truck drivers is getting robbed and mugged and just abused out here anymore.
everyone's really.
and
I mean, I can
honestly,
see how truck drivers get more of it, but
yeah, and it's getting best. There was 2 in Indiana that got robbed last week, sitting on the side of the road with a breakdown. And I'm in Ohio, which we've got a little bit better gun rights than some states. We're in conjunction with other states that recognize our gun laws, and right
get
now,
the Ohio license, so that carries over into many states. I think it's like half the states. Yeah.
well, we've got the constitutional carry, which passed the Senate a couple of weeks ago. I think it's sitting on our so-called Republican governor. It's supposed to be signed. We're going to constitutional carry, which really you don't have to have a CCW.
Oh, I know all about it. We got it here in New Hampshire.
Thank you.
Thanks,
And
Liz.
so, and I'll be honest with you, I'm like some of the truck drivers. I I tell you, I've got my little 9mm with me. I carry it with me all the time. I'm not taking no chances anymore.
Right.
You know, it's bad when you have to carry to
Better safe than
just
sorry.
protect yourself. You know, do your job.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, a lot of
It's a
people.
The only thing I
responsibility
have
to
is
protect their own life. It's our
the only
responsibility,
thing
not
I have
anybody
is a
else's.
a mace can and a X-Acto knife by the front door.
yeah, hey, hey, shoot.
People
when
are
my
going to be
wife,
upset now because folks were. I know a lot of folks just from auditing it brought a lot of attention to it. Like Joe said, Ohio gun license LTC carries over into so many other states. I think it probably has the most. So a lot
It's
of
like
people are
32 states.
getting their
Good.
license through Ohio, so that way they could really just carry anywhere. So when Ohio turns to a constitutional carry, what you're telling us now that's going to stop. I think that's going to fuck a lot of people's day up.
yeah. Well, I'm a veteran. I've been trained in several different weapons, but I still upgrade all my training every month. I
Absolutely.
take different trainings to, because I don't get in a situation where, you pull the trigger, then you regret it later. Weapons is not nothing to play with. I'm a firm believer in the Second Amendment. I'm a firm believer that, you have a right to defend yourself. And that's something that America is losing. And we're losing it every day. And like you guys out there, if you do auditing, which I'm gonna get back into auditing and stuff, but if we don't bring up the Constitution, we're gonna lose it.
Well, hey, I'll make a point real quick. Is that we could lose these so-called constitutional rights, these laws written by men, but the real truth is that we're born with these rights. These are
Yes.
inalienable rights. The
I was going
Constitution
to say that.
the Constitution is just to hold the government in their place. They're the ones that are
Right.
swearing oath to it. They're the ones that are supposed to be protecting it.
Right.
But in essence, the Constitution means nothing to us, guys. It really doesn't. Morality,
It's only for them.
principles is what matters to us. The Constitution is what's keeping them from being, over aggressive, from being
Absolutely. That's
tyrants,
yes.
right? But
Yeah.
in reality, is that you're born with the Second Amendment. You're born with the First Amendment.
That's right.
You have the right to secure yourself. These are things that not only are your right, but I feel like it's a responsibility to your life.
Yeah.
So
Considering our birth certificate and our social security number is money that they're stealing from us every fucking day. As soon as you're born, that number goes into their fucking banks.
show me my consent forms. That's all I gotta say.
And I'll tell you something, and some of you may not want to hear this, because I try to speak to what I really feel, okay? And on the Second Amendment, now this is the way I feel, and like I said, some ain't gonna like what I have to say about it. Now, I don't want just anybody carrying a weapon.
Right.
I think some people, I don't think they deserve to ever have the Second Amendment, because I mean of what things that they're doing now. And I say that to say this: I made a mistake several years ago. It took me 7.5 years and over $8,000 to get my rights back, and they're my God-given rights. I didn't kill nobody. I didn't hurt nobody. It dealt with a car, a material thing. But that's what happens when you make a dumb mistake, and I own it. I don't deny it, and I will never deny it. But it took me 7.5 years and over $8,000, and but I don't see just anybody carrying. But if you're a law-abiding
I'll
citizen,
disagree with that because, I believe that when people serve their time, obviously you can't have a gun while you're in jail, right? But when you serve your time, you should get all your rights back. I think it's bullshit. I don't really believe in voting, so I don't really give a shit about the voting right thing. But that's just the depravity of how they can work angles into a society and control the narrative by.
Well, some
having
states
certain...
do that, Joe.
I know that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I guess I'm going off on a tangent there. I just want to go back to the gun right thing. It's it doesn't matter if you've done something wrong in your life. I believe that even the worst of people should still be able to carry, and the reason why is because it's it's like we shouldn't be judging other people, and it sounds terrible when we say it like that. But if you murder someone, yeah, you shouldn't deserve your rights. Like you have to pay back.
That's what I'm.
dues.
That's what I'm talking about. Everybody should. No matter what kind of mistake. Now, if that's a fine line with me.
Yeah.
I want everybody to have their. If you make a mistake, God damn it, when you serve your time or your punishment or whatever, you should get your rights. I didn't say that.
And it shouldn't cost $8,000. Absolutely not. Not $8,000.
Yeah, that's what it cost me.
Another good point to make is that anyone can make a gun, and it doesn't stop anyone from doing that. There's nothing in the world that could ever stop them from doing it.
Well,
now,
Joe,
if I spend all that time and money and effort with attorneys, and I'll tell you who done it, and they're great people. They work good with me. The attorney's office in Wipe Records down in Austin, Texas, and if you're proven, if you're law-abiding citizen, you made a mistake or whatever, so be it. You shouldn't have to pay for that the rest of your life. I agree with you. Like Georgia on the Second Amendment, today I watch a lot of news and keep up with a lot of government, stuff with the House and stuff. They're going to loosen up restrictions on handguns for people carrying handguns that are because of what's going on in our communities. And I agree with that wholly. And I think everybody, regardless, if you're made a mistake and you're living that, you deserve your rights because they're God-given. They're not man-given. And I agree with you on that. But, like I said, if someone is mentally and just off the wall, do you really want them carrying a handgun and maybe kill some innocent child or somebody innocent that has no idea?
I can point out a whole class of people that shouldn't be owning guns, and that's the cops. That's for sure. But it's because they're active criminals. Like they're active criminality all the time.
And it's proven that they're for the most part unstable. I mean, I think 40% of police officers in a anonymous poll have admitted to engaging in domestic assault. Like,
those were admitted,
that were admitted, of course. And Joe, I just want to show you this real quick. That see, obviously, this is my long lost relative, great grandpappy AFA on the left here, that fought in the Revolutionary War alongside Mel Gibson. And then you had the original Captain AFA America on the right hand side here. So and they aren't carrying guns, either one of them.
Hey.
So
oh, come on, they both do Second Amendment all the way.
So, hey, Josh, I wanted to ask you, tell me a little bit more about the battle zone up there in Boston, because my uncle used to talk about the battle zone all the time, and I always wondered, what the fuck is he talking about?
Oh, so that's technically gone now.
Is it?
Yeah, that was where that was like big during like the 80s and 90s.
Yeah.
So that does not exist anymore. Now they call it like the war zone is considered Mass Ave. Mass
Ave. Lexington.
Lexington. That's not a war zone. That's a rich town.
What?
How about? Do you know
Lexington, bro? That's a shot heard around the world.
Oh yeah, Lexington, Concord. Yeah. Well, it's a rich town now.
Do you guys know where Leominster is?
Yeah. Leominster, Mass. Yeah.
Yeah, my son lives in Leominster.
Okay.
I think it's Pittsburgh, the north section. My son lives up there.
That's
about 40 minutes from me.
Yeah, I used to live in Leominster.
He's not breaking the law. He's breaking the flow.
Yeah, Pittsburgh is a pretty shitty area.
Yeah, that's why he's wanting. That's why he's wanting to come down here to Ohio with me. He's wanting to get a new start and stuff. He had made some mistakes and stuff. So
yeah,
let him come on.
Guys, you see a link Banana Anna just put in the chat. It's the AFA crew. As of this Saturday, there's going to be an AFA roast where I'm going to be roasted on my channel. by some friends and some people that you'll definitely know. But after that, all the live shows are going to be on the AFA crew. So that way, the people that come just to watch the auditing and the activism, they can come to this channel for the auditing, the activism, and the interviews that we do. That's regarding activism and rights. And then if you want to let your hair down, have some fun, you can go to the AFA crew and we'll do that kind of stuff there. So that way, if you don't want to see that
Okay.
type of stuff, you're just interested in cops getting owned, then you don't have to go. You don't have to watch.
Well, I'm going to
videos.
get out of here then because I can't see the chat. Or here, wait, maybe.
Hey Josh, who we roasting?
I'm getting roasted. It's the AFA
Oh,
roast. I'm getting roasted this Saturday.
Yeah, but
I'll bring the
all right,
barbecue sauce.
because like, all right, I'm gonna come up with some really fucked up things then, right?
Oh yeah, it's a roast. Like you're not supposed to come up and be like, "Oh, it's Josh." Like, but just keep in mind, at the end of it, I get to roast everyone that's roasted me. So just keep in mind how bad you wanna get it, Joe.
What's fair for the goose is fair for the gander.
Oh,
Of course.
I'm just gonna freaking rip you a new one, dude.
I already have a child that's going to roast me, and the first thing they're going to be like is like, "Yo, what's up, narcissist? Where's my $800?" Like, and that's a child. It's going to be rough.
Josh,
All
and
right,
just
cool.
let you guys know too that I'm fixing to fire up my channel again and start doing First and Second Amendment audits around Ohio, maybe some in Indiana and stuff. I'll probably be making a trip down to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, which I will stop in and see Jeff, NC Tire Hunter. I know him real well. I've been to his home before, and we're planning on doing some audits together down there in North Carolina this summer. So I'm fixing to fire my channel
your
up.
channel real quick so we can get you some people over there to subscribe. Guys, in your channel, you'll see Country Boy News right under it's Hank Williams. Not a bad. All right, so go ahead over to Country Boy News. Hit that subscribe button. Set your notification bell to always. He's going to be coming with some more videos. 640 subs already. Let's try and get him over the 700 mark right now. Everyone go over to Country Boy News. Hit the subscribe button. He's going to be bringing you some new content pretty soon. So watch the stuff that he does have, and then he'll have the new stuff for you.
Now, I've got a couple of good audits on there. I got the sheriff's office here, and I've got the city police in Sydney, Ohio on there, which Sydney one, he asked for my ID, and I told him what I do. He said, "I'll take your picture." I said, "Good, you're doing your First Amendment." But anyway, it was a little funny. This guy, I know the officer, and he stutters a little bit, but anyway, he got all uptight because I wouldn't show him my ID. But it just some of these things. There's a couple of little villages. I know the couple of cops, and they are tyrannical. And I'm hoping NC Tire Hunter will come up because I want him to do a couple of those. I'm going to do in Lima, Ohio. We've got the A1 Abrams tank plant there. I'm going to do them. I'm going to do the Husky Energy, and there's a lot of great places to do those. So I'm going to start hitting some of those when it starts warming up a little bit, and trying to get some real great content on the First Amendment and Second Amendment, and see who actually respects. I carry my gun everywhere I go, in restaurants, everywhere,
Right.
and no one has ever said a word about it.
But you haven't spent enough time out on the East Coast. People see guns, and they get real triggered if it's not a police officer carrying it. Bad out here.
And that's bad up in Massachusetts, ain't it?
Hey, see what Show Me State News Now said? If you go through Missouri, he'll go out and audit with you.
Cool. I'm not too far from Missouri. Maybe I might make a trip down that way. Which I work full time. I'm fixing to cut back my hours. This Sunday I turned 60, and I'm fixing to start cutting back my. I know I look 18, but I'm sorry.
Well, happy early birthday. We're going to have to throw a party for you.
Why, thank you. I mean, like
Shots
I said,
for freedom.
Oh, boy. Crown Apple?
Whatever you want it to. You're the birthday boy.
Well, you're old enough now, we can call you Country Man.
Country Man News.
He's
Country old fart.
I like that too.
Hey, I can joke about it. I don't care. I said there's people been that's trolls that has said some nasty things about my looks or something other on my channel. You know, I'm at this point now. If they want to say something bad about me, about my looks or this, that, and other, I don't care anymore. You know,
Hey,
it's what's in my heart that
you know what
counts.
have you ever heard of the great philosopher Kanye West?
Yeah.
He's a wonderful philosopher. He's known around the world to the likes like Plato and Socrates. He said, like 50 told me, go ahead, switch the style up. And if they hate, then let them hate and watch the money pile up. They hate us because they ain't us. Let them drink the haterade. They'll be just fine.
Yeah. You can get them
I
some
don't
buttercream
listen to
while
gay
I'm at it.
fish.
Hey, Joe, do you eat fish sticks?
Yeah, why?
What are
I
you,
love
gay
fish sticks.
fish?
No. What?
You done got him all confused.
Maybe I am a gay fish. Motherfucking gay fish, gay fish.
Well, I gotta shut this thing down. I just wanted to I didn't really plan to go on a rant. I just, I wanted to bring some awareness, tell everyone to go sub to Disorderly Product News, subscribe to Breaking the Flaw, because he's not breaking the law. And also subscribe to Country Boy News. He's going to be bringing you some new stuff, but make sure while you're waiting for his new stuff, you watch some of his old stuff. Thank you to our guests that came on. Go over, subscribe to DPN, and we appreciate it. What do you got to say, Joe? What do you got to bring up before we close this thing down?
I don't know. Just, guys, I need some luck on my side. I've had some real bad luck, I tell you. But I don't know. Hopefully things happen tomorrow. If not, I got trial.
Oh, yeah. So you got court tomorrow.
Yeah.
And we're expecting for it to get, no, it's arraignment. So they probably won't dismiss it on arraignment.
Probably not, but it is like a technical thing. Like, so I don't know how.
What town you going?
Huh?
Where are you going to court at?
Good question. No, I just don't want trolls to show up. I'm kidding. I don't really care because I have a bunch of friends showing up. So if y'all want to go, this is at the Keene Courthouse, Cheshire. Court.
Okay, well,
if you,
I'll be watching if you was to go live outside or whatever.
You can't go live. Outside, maybe. But it's not like, see, this is just like a stupid thing. Like, I got arrested on my birthday for suspended license. And nobody knows why it was suspended. Like, I've called the courts, I've called the DMV. The court said it shouldn't have been suspended. The DMV doesn't, like, they just see in their system. They're saying it's coming from a ticket that I've already taken care of. Like, it's already been paid off. And then it was cleared. The default
road pirates.
And they
sounds
just like
someone's
just
not
harassing me.
Sounds like somebody's not doing their job is working for the government.
Or it's retaliatory, but I could probably never prove that. They're going to, pull every angle they can. All they have to do is mess up on one little thing, like spell your name wrong or whatever, and now you got like a whole headache on your side. It's not like they should be jumping over backwards to fix this for me. They can't even tell me why it's being suspended. They don't know why. I don't know why.
Because they stupid.
If I knew why, I'd solve it.
Yeah.
You should walk in there at arraignment.
Though, is I've just been paying my reinstatement fees. I paid my New Hampshire reinstatement fee 3 times now. This isn't the first time it got suspended. It got suspended previously too for no reason. It's the same the same thing that's going on. And so I paid it 3 times. I paid reinstatements in Rhode Island because that's where my license is, several times. It's like they're playing a game with me. They're trying to soak money out of me. They know that I just won a lawsuit. They're just trying to fuck with me.
You should go in there at arraignment, and after the prosecutor reads the affidavit, you snap your fingers in a Z formation and say, "Oh no, he didn't," just like that. Oh no, he didn't. Remember when we went live? Like, so we told everyone where your last court date was when I was with you, and then there was some supporters that showed up inside. And then we got outside, and then the friggin' troll lady started following us around, and she got
2 ladies, crazy.
Yeah. All right, well, guys, everyone, stay tuned. Make sure you go subscribe to Breaking the Flaw, so that way when he gives an update tomorrow, we can.
I got a lot of support though, guys. I have there's going to be at least two local news agencies that are going to be there filming. and it's just my arraignment too. They don't. Like one guy had to get permission from his probation officer to be there, but he's my boss too from Free Talk Live. But I'm so glad that he can make it to that and he can record. He's been recording a lot of crazy stuff, especially stuff here in New Hampshire. A bunch of tickets. People got protesting tickets, like picketing tickets in Newfields. They're right outside the governor's house, right? In New Hampshire. All those tickets, dozens of tickets, were dismissed.
Oh, guys, we have a friend of our channel, Smo Diego. He just went live, so we're gonna do a good old-fashioned AFA raid. What I will do tomorrow is when Joe gives me an update, I'll pretend that I'm only asking because I'm interested in his well-being as his friend. And as soon as he tells me what's going on, I'm gonna run behind his back, do a live stream, and get all the news out there before he can, so I can steal the views. I feel like that's the right way to do it. So that's what we're
I
gonna
don't care,
do.
man. You can do that. I don't
I'm
mind.
just kidding.
No. If you want, you could just like maybe call me to broadcast it onto your channel, or I could just like
No, just go on yours, man. I'll tell people to go there, guys. In the chat, you're gonna see I'm flooding.
It's not
a
really
link.
something I want to go live on either, so it's not.
That's Smo Diego. I want everyone to go over there right now and tell him that it's an AFA raid. This is a great guy. He's got no one watching. He's auditing a rollover. You asked how we get the word out there for other auditors. This is how we get the word out there. I can see your channel comments, Cindy. It's all right. So I'm going to wrap this up, guys. I want to see everyone over there. Appreciate it. Country Boy News, Breaking the Flaw. We'll check in with you tomorrow.
Yes,
All right, man.
Appreciate it, guys. It's the reason I stopped you today.
Yeah, it's our time to shine. Yo, that's the kind of state of mind you gotta combine with hard work and time. You gotta climb to the top. Don't let yourself drop till your heart stops. Let this beat rock. Got a new clock and a new stock for this new rock. Just let your mind loose from the new stock. Drunk off the goose, yeah, thinking that I'm too hot. Getting caught with a few thoughts, cause I'm too boss. Speakers can't even handle me. Even what I got, nobody will drain my energy. And I will never stop. I'm motivated by enemies. Setting up shop so everybody can't even handle me.
Everyone get over there right now. Subscribe to Smo Diego. Get in the comment section. Tell him it's an AFA raid and AFA sent you. Make sure you go to Disorderly Product News. Subscribe to him. Set your notification bell to always on Breaking the Flaw and Country Boy News. That's the reason I stopped you today. We'll see you next time. Stay free, stay safe.